Okay, think about this for a second. Your daily routine, skincare, maybe specialized treatments. How much thought do you give it? Well, it turns out it's more than just personal habit. It's actually a peek into this huge, like really fast-growing global industry. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a report from Cognitive Market Research. It's called the Global Cosmeceuticals and Dermatologists Market Report 2025. I mean, thinking, Cosme what? Well, it's basically that spot where high-tech cosmetics meet pharmaceutical type effectiveness, often with dermatologists involved. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Give you the quick version, the shortcut to understanding the money side, the revenue trends, what's happening where, regionally speaking, and the forecast for this whole sector. It's really dynamic. Now, the size of this market, that might actually surprise you. This report, it shows growth from, let's see, just under $49 billion back in 2021, point to almost $69 billion in 2025.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is that growth, it's not just some short-term thing. The report projects that it'll nearly double again. We're talking potentially $136.5 billion for 2033.
Wow.
Which means, a really solid compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, that's the year-over-year growth, sustained of 8.97%.
Okay.
It really points to a big shift.
Yeah.
How we think about personal care, it's moving beyond just, looking good towards something more science-backed. Health first. Always.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's break that down then. We're going to kind of travel the globe a bit, look at where this, explosive growth is really concentrated. We want to uncover not just the figures, but maybe why some places are speeding up more than others. So, first stop, Asia Pacific. The report flags this as like the #1 fastest growing region overall. Huge market value already, but projected to surge. We're talking just under $16 billion in 21. All the way up to over $47 billion projected by 2033. And that's underpinned by the highest regional CAGR they found, 9.58%.
Absolutely. And what's really compelling there, it's not just the total number, right? It's the stories within that region. Take India, for example. Its CAGR is just, remarkable. 11.411%.
11%, wow.
Yeah. And that's not just a statistic, right? It signals something bigger. A rapidly growing middle class, maybe, that's embracing both, traditional beauty ideas and these advanced clinical solutions. It really points to that health-first beauty trend we mentioned.
Okay.
And then you got the giants, China and Japan, still going strong, big upward curve. They drive a massive chunk of that regional growth. Consumers there are looking for, increasingly sophisticated stuff, effective products.
Makes sense. Okay, so from those really busy markets in Asia Pacific, let's switch gears a bit. Let's look at the Middle East, another area expanding fast. The report shows it more than doubling, too, from about $1.7 billion in 2021, projected over $5.4 billion by 2033, and a really strong CAGR there as well, 9.931%. What's driving that, do you think? Any unique factors?
Well, the Middle East growth, it does feel a bit distinct.
Right.
You look at the UAE, for instance. Its CAGR stands out nearly 11%. Just outstanding.
Right.
And that probably reflects, a mix of things. High disposable income, for sure. A strong cultural focus on appearance. Plus, you've got that booming medical tourism sector, which often includes, advanced dermatology.
Ah, interesting connection.
Yeah, and Saudi Arabia, Turkey also seeing really significant expansion. So the whole region is clearly adopting these advanced cosmeceutical solutions pretty quickly.
It's really fascinating, isn't it, how those different cultural, economic threads weave together in these trends. Okay, let's keep moving. South America. The report points to really substantial progress there, too. It's looking like it'll double its market value as well, hitting over $10 billion by 2033. And the CAGR, 9.802%.
South America. Yeah, that feels like a region with massive potential that's really starting to blossom. Brazil is the clear leader there. It's set to more than triple its market size by 2033.
Triple.
Yeah. But what's also notable is Argentina and Colombia. They're showing really strong momentum, too. They share a high CAGR, actually 10.333%.
Interesting. Both of them.
Both of them. And this growth, it speaks to increasing access, probably access to these specialized products, and just changing consumer tastes, moving towards more advanced skincare across, different groups of people.
Okay, shifting continents again. Let's turn our focus to Europe. Now, this market was already pretty big, right? Over $14 billion back in 2021. The forecast takes it to nearly $38 billion by 2033. The CAGR is a bit lower than the others we've seen, but still strong at 8.494%. So how are these, more mature markets keeping up that kind of growth? Are they reinventing themselves?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Europe shows really broad growth, actually, across several big economies, Germany, the UK, France. They're consistently strong players, big slice of the European market share.
Right.
But what's compelling, like you said, is how these mature markets keep finding ways to grow. Part of it is probably the aging population looking for effective anti-aging things. And there's a big emphasis now on sustainability, clean beauty, and the market's adapting fast.
Hmm.
You also see countries like Italy, its CAGR is actually over 9%, which is quite high for Europe, and Russia contributing significantly. It really feels like a continent-wide trend investing in skin health.
Okay, next up, North America. Here, the market value was around $12.2 billion in 2021, expected to climb to almost $32 billion by 2033. The CAGR here is 8.371%. So pretty solid, in line with Europe, roughly.
Well, as you'd probably guess, the U.S. takes the lion's share in North America, absolutely dominates. Its market alone is projected to more than double by 2033.
Huge.
Yeah, but Canada's a strong performer too. Actually, its CAGR is impressive, nearly 9.9%.
Oh, higher than the U.S.?
Yeah, suggesting a really robust, maybe even accelerating market there. Mexico also shows solid growth, advancing steadily. I think for this region, the growth comes down to, well, high consumer awareness, definitely. A real culture of innovation in products and just widespread availability of dermatological services. It really cements North America as a global leader here.
Okay, makes sense. So finally, let's round out our world tour with Africa. The report shows solid growth here, too. Projected to rise from about $1.36 billion in 2021 to over $3.5 billion by 2033. The CAGR is 8.053%.
Right. So while it's starting from a smaller base number, Africa's growth path is still really crucial to that overall global picture. Key contributors mentioned are Nigeria and South Africa. They seem to be leading the way for the continent's growth, which suggests, rising consumer awareness there too, and maybe increasing access to these kinds of products and services in those emerging economies.
Okay, so we've really covered the globe here. Asia, Middle East, the Americas, Europe, Africa, a lot of numbers, a lot of growth. Stepping back a bit from all the specifics, what's the big picture? What's the main story this report is telling us about, well, the future of personal care?
I think what's truly fascinating when you pull it all together is that this market, cosmeceuticals and dermatologists, it's booming everywhere.
Yeah.
Across all the major regions we looked at, there really aren't any exceptions.
Right, it's universal.
Pretty much. And this widespread growth, it seems to be driven by a few things that are all connected. One is just this explosion in consumer awareness about skin health. People know more, they care more.
Hmm.
Two, there's a definite increase in people actually going to dermatologists seeking professional advice.
Hmm.
And three, well, constant innovation in the products themselves, stuff that delivers real, visible results.
Okay. Awareness, consultations, innovation.
Exactly. And this really robust growth, these strong KRERs pretty much everywhere, and that projection of doubling globally by 2033, it really suggests the whole industry is on this transformative path. It's clear consumers all over the world are getting savvier, more proactive about skin health. They want more than just, surface level stuff.
What an incredible deep dive that was. We've seen that this, what might feel like a niche area, is actually a global giant, set to more than double by 2033. It's truly happening everywhere, affecting economies, personal habits, all around the world.
And it does raise an important question, doesn't it? How are our ideas about beauty and health and personal well-being, how are they merging?
Yeah.
Converging in new ways. It seems to be happening differently across cultures, demographics. But this report suggests it is happening everywhere. It's kind of transforming how we even think about self-care.
Indeed. Something to think about. Consider how these huge market numbers might actually influence your own choices down the line. Or maybe what truly groundbreaking innovations could come next from an industry that's expanding at this kind of incredible pace. It could shape everything, couldn't it? From your daily routine right up to those advanced dermatology treatments in the years ahead. Let's be honest, haven't you ever looked in the mirror after a long day and just thought, is there something more than just my usual moisturizer? Beyond that huge beauty aisle, what really helps our skin look and feel its best? And can science actually deliver that sort of glow we're all after without resorting to, well, magic?
It's a great question.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the global cosmeceuticals and dermatologists market. Now, for anyone thinking, Cosme what? They're basically products that bridge cosmetics and pharmaceuticals.
Exactly. They're designed not just for looks, but to have real therapeutic effects on skin health.
Right. Think science-backed skincare that's actually working beneath the surface.
Hmm.
So our mission today is to sift through the sources you've provided us. We want to pull out the key insights, understand what's driving this market, what's holding it back, and maybe get a glimpse of the innovations changing the game.
And it's moving fast. The landscape is shifting pretty dramatically.
It really is. Which kind of brings us to the first big question. With all this growth, what's really fueling it? Is it just about looking good, or is something deeper going on?
Well, what's truly interesting, I think, is this huge shift, psychologically and financially, towards proactive skin wellness. It's not just anti-aging anymore.
Mm.
We're seeing consumers, even in their 20s and 30s, really investing in prevention. They're thinking long-term skin health.
So less about fixing problems later, more about preventing them now.
Precisely. The demand for anti-aging, yes, but also preventative stuff, things offering firming, sun protection. It's viewed now more as part of overall health. And skin is like the visible marker of that well-being.
Okay.
So these products, they're being judged on long-term benefits, cellular health, often clinically tested, dermatologist recommended. That builds enormous trust.
Right, that dermatologist link sounds crucial. So it's this profound shift from fixing to preventing, even for younger people. But are there bigger forces at play too, like environmental factors, societal pressures?
Oh, absolutely. When you connect it to the bigger picture, it's actually quite startling how much our environment is hitting our skin.
How so?
Well, we're seeing a really direct link between rising air pollution, tiny soot particles, ozone, the works, and a surge in inflammatory skin conditions.
Like what specifically?
Things like adult acne, which is becoming much more common, stubborn pigmentation issues, even worsening eczema. These aren't just minor annoyances, they're persistent health problems.
Okay.
And that drives people to seek out very specific, often dermatologist-approved solutions. They need things that offer real therapeutic benefits, beyond just the cosmetic level.
So it's really about tackling tangible health issues made worse by modern life. And you mentioned dermatologists. Again, it sounds like their role is evolving beyond just recommending products.
Definitely. And that brings up a critical point.
Yeah.
These strategic partnerships between the cosmeceutical brands and dermatologists, they're absolutely pivotal.
How do those partnerships work?
It often means joint efforts in, say, rigorous clinical testing or even product innovation right from the research stage. Then you get the endorsement from the dermatologists themselves.
Ah, so it's a direct seal of approval.
Exactly. It powerfully reinforces consumer confidence in whether a product actually works. And that, in turn, fuels wider acceptance, not just in developed markets, but globally in emerging economies, too.
Okay, so far it sounds like a massive success story. Growth, prevention, science, partnerships. But, well, every industry has its challenges, right? Its speed bumps.
Mm-hmm.
Despite all this positive momentum, what are some of the big hurdles this market is facing?
Right. For a balanced view, we definitely need to look at the headwinds. One of the biggest is, frankly, the high cost of these cosmeceutical products.
Yeah, they aren't cheap.
No.
Yeah.
And there's a reason. They come from advanced research, often use specialized, sometimes patented ingredients, and they go through rigorous medical validation. All that adds up.
So it's not just inflated marketing costs.
Not primarily, no. The R&D and validation are significant drivers. And this naturally makes them way more expensive than your standard skincare off the shelf. It creates a real affordability issue, especially in price-sensitive regions. It puts these advanced solutions out of reach for a lot of people.
Okay, so price is a major barrier. And you mentioned validation and testing. Given they sit between cosmetics and drugs, does that create regulatory problems too?
You've hit the nail on the head there. Regulatory ambiguity is a major headache.
Gray zone.
Exactly. Cosmeceuticals blur those lines. So what might be fine to market as a skin-enhancing serum in, say, Europe, might suddenly be classified as an unapproved drug somewhere else.
Wow.
Yeah, meaning it needs more trials, completely different marketing approvals. This inconsistency across countries really hinders smooth global expansion for these brands. It's a significant barrier.
So the same product faces totally different rules depending on the border. That sounds incredibly complex to manage. And it's not just about the product or the rules, is it? What about actually getting advice from these experts? Access to dermatologists?
That's another key limitation. Access to dermatologists is still quite limited, especially if you look outside major cities, into rural areas or underdeveloped regions,
Right.
where that professional medical guidance is scarce. Well, Consumers are just less likely to adopt these scientifically formulated products. They might feel more like prescription items.
Mm-hmm.
Without that expert consultation to guide their choices, the market penetration for these sophisticated solutions just stalls.
Okay, so cost, tricky regulations, and access to experts are definitely significant challenges. But often challenges like these push innovation, don't they?
They certainly can.
So what exciting new directions or breakthroughs are emerging? How is the market adapting and maybe even starting to overcome some of these hurdles?
Well, one of the most promising trends is absolutely the rise of customized skincare solutions.
It's fascinating.
Just
How does that work? Is it more than just those online quizzes?
Oh, much more. We're seeing AI-driven diagnostic tools.
Sure.
These can analyze everything from, say, a selfie you upload to genetic information or the lifestyle factors to pinpoint exact skin needs.
AI diagnostics. Wow.
Yeah, it's machine learning identifying micro patterns, things maybe even the human eye would miss. This allows for truly tailored regimens. And then complementing this, you have virtual dermatologist consultations becoming more common.
Teledermatology.
Right, allowing for professional oversight remotely. This really taps into that desire for personalization that's so strong today.
A routine designed just for you. That's powerful. But does that scale easily? And are we talking about AI replacing the dermatologist or working alongside them? And what about the actual ingredients? Is there a shift there too?
Good questions. On scaling, it's currently a blend, I'd say. The AI does the heavy lifting on analysis, but the human expert provides crucial oversight and interpretation. And yes, absolutely, the ingredient story is huge. The growth of clean and clinical beauty is another major factor.
Clean and clinical. What does that mean exactly?
It means consumers today want both. They demand products that are safe, so free of potentially harmful additives like parabens, sulfates, the list.
Hmm.
But critically, they also insist these products are effective, backed by solid dermatological science. It's not either anymore. And dermatologists are increasingly endorsing these clean label cosmeceuticals.
So the doctors are backing the clean movement too.
When it's also clinically validated, yes, it strengthens that link between ethical sourcing, safety, and actual performance.
That dual promise clean and effective sounds incredibly appealing. So we have personalization, clean clinical formulas. But going back to that access issue we talked about, how are these advanced products and consultations actually reaching people, especially those outside big cities?
Right, and this is where technology is really changing the game again. E-commerce and teledermatology are fundamentally revolutionizing distribution and access. We're seeing explosive growth in digital health platforms. Online consultations with dermatologists are becoming commonplace, effectively breaking down those geographical barriers we mentioned.
So you can see a dermatologist from anywhere.
Pretty much, yes.
Hmm.
And alongside that, brands are really embracing direct-to-consumer models, DTC.
Selling straight from their website.
Exactly, bypassing traditional retail gatekeepers and challenges. This lets them reach consumers much faster, more efficiently, often with these medically backed products, potentially reaching those previously underserved areas too.
It really seems like technology is weaving through every aspect of this market, tackling some of those core challenges.
It absolutely is, from diagnosis to formulation to access.
So it's clear this whole cosmeceuticals and dermatologist space is evolving incredibly fast. You've got cutting-edge innovation driving it, those vital clinical partnerships strengthening it, and then technology and shifting consumer demands just reshaping everything.
It's a very dynamic picture.
Hopefully you listening feel you've got a much clearer handle now on the forces pushing it forward, the significant hurdles it's navigating, and these really exciting trends that are pointing towards the future.
Yeah, it's a fascinating intersection of science, health, and consumer desire.
Which leads to a final thought, really. Given everything we've discussed, this move to hyper-personalization, the impact of our environment, the clean and clinical demand, how might our very understanding of beauty and health keep merging over the next, say, decade?
That's a deep question.
Could we see a future where our skincare isn't just about looking good today, but becomes a truly preventative medical strategy? Something tailored specifically to our unique biology and environment. Maybe making anti-aging an outdated concept, replaced by something like optimal skin longevity.
It's definitely heading towards a more integrated, preventative, and personalized approach. A fascinating thought indeed.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of cosmeceuticals and dermatologists. We really appreciate you tuning in.